"What's wrong with riding boots?" I asked. He shrugged. "Did you go riding today?" "No, but I might." I probably wouldn't. It was hard to take midnight out after dark unless the moon was full. That wasn't the point. "They're an expression of who you are, right?" After a moment's thought, I nodded. I'd never thought of it that way, but I'm sure anyone who knew me would agree. "How I dress is a reflection of who I am," he said. I stood and wiped the dust off the back of my jean shorts. I tilted my head playfully. "I think who you are needs to loosen up a bit." I made to reach for the hem of his shirt to untuck it. I was drunk on the heat, more relaxed with Sam than I usually was. He moved away, laughing. "Maybe you need to get more serious," he tossed back at me. "Haven't you ever thought of wearing something a little more fashionable?" I halted in my cavorting. His words struck a nerve. New York was one of the fashion capitals of the world, and I often worried I wouldn't fit in there, that I couldn't be myself there, a simple farm town girl. Mostly I pushed those thoughts to the back of my mind. I didn't have a choice. I was going with Kelly. I'd get through it. But did Sam find me too simple as well as too young? Were even my shoes more proof of my lack of culture and experience? "You okay?" Sam asked. The barn door creaked open, breaking the moment. Kelly barged in, her mouth set in a hard line. "There you are," she said. "I've been waiting at the coffee shop for you for an hour." I gasped. "Shit, I'm so sorry, Kel. I completely lost track of time." I was supposed to meet her when she finished her shift. She glanced at Sam, sure of the reason I'd forgotten about our date. At the beginning of the summer, she was worried I'd let work get in the way of our plans, and I promised her it wouldn't. Neither of us had accounted for Sam. "We can go now," I said, meeting her in the doorway. She looked like she might call the whole thing off. "Fine," she eventually said, exasperated. I followed her out, shooting an apologetic look at Sam. As we walked back to the parking lot, Kelly was silent, and even the crunch of the gravel beneath our feet sounded angry. I wanted to apologize again, but the more I ruminated on the situation, the more I felt justified in my actions. I was working after all, and never once had I been upset with Kelly when she got stuck at the coffee shop. "You could have called the house," I said. "You could have hung out with us." I spent so much time at the coffee shop during Kelly's shifts, I was practically a fixture there. I didn't see any reason why Kelly couldn't do the same. "I don't want to hang out with Sam, Mallory," she said over her shoulder. "I want to hang out with you." I huffed at her response, trying to keep my cool. I knew this wasn't about me or about being late. It was about Sam, and I was growing fed up with her unwarranted spite toward him. He had never been anything less than polite to her, and besides that, she could have tried harder to be kind toward him, if only for my sake. "Maybe if you got a chance to know him, you wouldn't hate him so much," I said. Kelly stopped walking and turned to me. Her eyes were wide. "Mallory, for heaven's sake, this isn't about Sam." She looked off into the distance, her jaw set. "I don't want to talk about it yet, but I just need you right now, okay?" I resisted the urge to roll my eyes. It was always something. Was she worried about her fall schedule again? Most of the time I could deal with her neuroses, her constant need for control, but I was beginning to feel like I was giving more than my fair share in our friendship. I was moving across the country for her. What else could she want? This was my last summer here too, and despite what she seemed to think, I had my own ideas about how I wanted to spend it. "Just please don't forget next time," she said. I shrugged, not wanting to fight. "Fine," I said. She exhaled, and after she calmed down, she nodded for me to walk beside her. "Come on," she said. And I did. As June crept into July, the dry heat seemed to increase in correlation with my feelings for Sam. We spent most of every day together, and staying overnight became Sam's Friday night routine. And because Dad and Sam's friendship continued to grow, he often stayed Saturday nights, too. Some weekends Sam would take a horseback ride with me, while others he would accompany Dad on a supply run to Bakersfield.